Hey guys, and welcome back to Agglomeration 7 to the Sky. And almost as if by magic, we have a new 7 setup. And let me tell you, this thing is better in almost every way. This thing is super OP. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Check this out. So we're 7 the same items: gravel, netherrack, dust, basalt, skystone, sand, and endstone? Yes, endstone. But before we begin today's episode, we have some upgrades to make actually. It looks like the last 4 blocks are crafted here. So in the around 3 hours it took me to rebuild our sieve setups, I made a few more reactors. Last episode we set up the spirited reactor here from the power mod, and we can now make our second. We need to also make sure we hook up the fuel and the coolants for this. Yeah, we can even add a third one here immediately. So last episode we set up the energizing orbs to automate the power mod. There we go, it's built already. Inputs for this one as well, and a flux plug for the energy inputs. Each one generates 93,000 RF per tick, giving us a total generation right now of 279,000 RF per tick. And with our newfound power we can upgrade ore processing even more, and we can also use it to power our new 7 setups. So we've completely removed integrated dynamics. I got rid of all of the player simulators. I still feel like it was a good decision early game to do that, just because it saved us on so much RF. I mean, we survived on our tiny reactor there for like 8 episodes, and I think that was due in large part to not even using anything for these sieve setups. I mean, the crushers that we used to have ran at like 2 RF per tick, something ridiculous like that. But we've now switched to using the hammer, the flux hammers and the flux sieves, which can do up to 64 items per tick, with the netherite upgrades in there. The gravel one is the only one we have fully maxed out, although we can add upgrades to the rest now that we have the other 2 reactors there. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of the way this turned out actually. It ended up relatively compact, and I built it in a way that we can actually expand as well if we need to. Although I don't think that's necessary, just by like the hour that it's been running. We're like up over 6,500 diamonds. When I was building it as well, I had a bit of a change of heart. Yeah, so we're about an hour into this rebuild right now. I kind of want to rework how we're doing ore processing, but I feel like it's the right decision at this stage, right? So from the output of the sieves, we get ore pieces. Instead of using the compactors down here to turn them into the raw ore, I think we want to do that at the sieve setup, at the sieve steps. And the reason being is if we're ever short on any ingot, we're going to have immediately the raw ore in our AE system, and it means that we can just set up some patterns to smelt the stuff directly. And that will instantly give us some ingots. Yes, it'll be slightly less efficient instead of sending it all the way through ore processing, but I think it's going to be worthwhile. To do that though, we need to switch all of these drawers, move thousands of items, and some of the things that you get from the sieves do not automatically compact. For example, coal. So we have to filter that straight into the drawer controller and then add some compactors at this stage here. Yeah, I've still got several hours of this rebuild ahead of me. You've probably seen it finished though, so I mean, I hope that's the case. Better get back to it, right? I don't know how this is going to turn out. Great is how it turned out actually. So yeah, let me show you the gravel setup first. This is the most complex one, just because we have the most outputs from these. But yeah, we're grabbing cobblestone, hammering that down in the flux hammer. That's buffered in a gravel drawer. And then we have a universal pipe which pulls the items from the drawer. That goes into a sieve, buffered in this chest below. Although actually on the rest of the setups I just had the sieve going directly into the storage controller, because we have XNet here pulling from the diamond chest which goes into the controller. So all the outputs are first buffered in the drawer network, all of the ore pieces, everything like that. And then each of the ore pieces get their own compactor. For example, this one is gold. That compacts it into raw ore, and then again it goes from the barrels below. These things auto output to the bottom. So XNet again takes it from the barrels below the compactors and stores everything again in the drawers. So yeah, it looks quite complex when you see it like this, but once you understand what's going on, it's very, very simple. The other setups are pretty self-explanatory. In fact, I'm going to leave a world download if you're interested after this episode. It may not be up straight away, but yeah, check Discord for the link if you're interested. I suppose the last thing to point out is that all the drawers have been unified, so we have a void upgrade on everything, and they all have at least 1 diamond upgrade in there for now. Now that we have the power though, let us grab the rest of the netherite upgrades for these things. Oh man, we are going to be flying. Let's check our network statistics actually. It looks like we're outputting 70,000 RF per tick now. Once everything gets a netherite upgrade, each device will use 8,000 RF per tick, but I think it's worth it. Yep, the skystone as well, sure. The netherrack is a slightly different story. We have to upgrade this igneous extruder. Same for the endstone. We can upgrade the sand though. That for sure can get some upgrades. Looking at our terminal now, I mean, we are rich. Look at this. Oh, it's so awesome. We can basically do whatever we want. And just as a little update from last episode, I did go ahead and filter in all of hostile neural networks. We got a disk drive configured for all of the new data sims we're running, and we're making all of these outputs now. This is going to be a bit of a strange episode, I feel. We're kind of going to be going all over the place today. But I think now that we have resources automated, it's time to start looking at our goal, the ATM Star. Before we proceed though, let's definitely fix ore processing. All we have to do is remove these compactors, since we're now doing the compacting step up next to the sieves. And instead of ore pieces that we request from the interface, we can just directly request the raw ores. Yeah, this is a much more clean looking setup. Way more simple than it used to be. We just have to make sure there's no raw blocks in our system. We want those to be crafted and integrated into our processing automatically. Oh my goodness, look at all this iron. And we also can get rid of all of this second floor down here. These crushers that we used to use were for the old sieve setups, and basically all of this down here can be removed. There's something quite satisfying about just demolishing old stuff like this. I quite like it. Awesome, this is all for sure looking much cleaner than it used to be. The base building, of course, is just an ongoing process throughout the series, although someday I would like to call it completely finished. So where do we want to begin with this ATM Star? I've been looking through this over the last couple of days. There's actually quite a bit to it. There is quite a lot to it. Oh yeah, that's so much better. At some point very, very soon, we're going to have to start mystical agriculture. Today though, I think we're going to look at something quite unusual. There is the Improbable probability device and the Wither's compass, both of which takes various charms, the charm of knowledge and the charm of wither, and both of these take various potions. However, to make the wither potion, we need wither skull fragments, which we can only get from spawning in wither skeletons. Hello, wandering trader. And no, we don't get it from hostile neural networks, we only get the wither skeleton skulls this way. We actually have apotheosis in this pack, which means we can make custom spawners. And we want wither skeleton, right? So we have to swab them. Contains wither skeleton DNA. Perfect. Actually, let's just get a few in case something goes wrong. You never know. So what the swab allows us to do is get the egg for the wither skeletons. If we craft the swab together with the bucket and some seeds, we are going to get chicken feed. Okay, surely it's not going to make me throw a stack of eggs. There we go. I think this guy has to be an adult. 5 seconds. If we feed this guy... Happy birthday, Taco! Yeah, nice. We get the wither skeleton egg. I did not add those sound effects, by the way. That's actually what it sounds like. Anyways, we also need a spawner. I'm pretty sure we can find one here. I see one. It's very dark, though. We just have to break it. Did we get it? We got it, okay. Although, it does say we need Silk Touch, because we got a broken spawner. That's a problem. Yeah, that is a problem. Okay, here is what we are going to do. This is all going to make sense in a minute. Just let me explain. This is a bit of a tangent as well. So, I want to find out how to make this Botania mana P2P tunnel. There is no crafting recipe for this, only the default P2P. Normally, if you click it with the appropriate item, for example, a redstone dust will turn it into a redstone P2P. I wonder what the item is for Botania. I don't think it's mentioned anywhere. Could it just be a flower? Let's try a flower. Yeah, nice. We get a mana P2P. When I learned of this thing's existence, I was actually ecstatic. It's so good. Assuming it works the way I think it does. So this is our main mana pool, our main mana generation from the Spectralist, and we have to be able to transport that mana around, right? The sparks on the mana pool only go so far, so the range is quite limited. But if we connect one of the mana P2Ps to the bottom of this mana pool, yeah, the other side is next to the Agglomeration Plate, mana pool on top of this one. So now, if we link these two together with the memory card, are we going to see any mana? We're not getting any mana. I bet we have to fire mana into the P2P. I switched the positioning of the P2P. If we put 2 sparks on here, we've got a recessive spark augment on the main pool, which means it disperses all of its mana. I upgraded to the Elven mana spreaders, which are just a bit faster than the regular ones. And then if we link this spreader here to the P2P, we got that link to the one over here, but I can't tell if it's inserting or not. I think it's just because these mana pools hold so much mana that you can't actually tell if anything's moving around. Also, these things are very, very loud. Let's put some wool on there to muffle them. I love that feature. The potency or velocity lens, I believe, will speed up the mana transfer via the mana spreader. But these are going to take a bunch of runes, and we don't really have that set up right now. So why did we do all of this? What's the reason for this tangent? I want to make the Terrasteel set. Oh, this also takes runes, of course it does. I guess we're gonna have to automate the runic altar. We've got some bosses to kill in the Twilight Forest later on, but today I want to fight a wither, and I kind of want to do it legitimately. Plus I think it'll be fun to actually gear up and get out of this diamond set that we've been wearing forever. Unenchanted, still. Oh my goodness, this guy... You know what, you're now my best friend. You have just skipped hours of progression for us right now. So I was just preparing to get some stuff automated here. It seems that some plans have changed though. Yeah, give me this green plate of eternity. Thank you. You know what? Let's still automate this thing regardless. So I think I got the runic altar automated here. It's nothing super complicated. The way this thing works is we have another mana P2P on a mana pool. When we encode the recipe for example, this rune of air, we have to make sure the living rock is the last item. It's the catalyst item, which every rune needs to finish the craft. So that will go in the pattern provider, which provides its items to the open crate. The open crate will drop anything that it's given. When you drop things onto the runic altar, then they basically float around it. Yeah, you can see the concrete floating around. Once it establishes a valid recipe... No valid recipe? Oh, the vacuumulator. That's right, of course, we need to filter this thing. We're missing the feather here. Yeah, there we go. The mana spreader will of course give it mana to finish the craft. And the living rock should also be on there, with the open crate should drop it. This worked a minute ago. I think it's because the open crate will only drop it when it's ready. Let's hopper it in. There we go. It does work, and then we can set the filter in the vacuumulator to pick up the finished rune. And then all we need is an item pipe to give it back to the pattern provider and ingest it back into AE2. Let's just test one more time just to make sure this is all foolproof. It should get the living rock, finish the craft, and go back into AE2. And we should have a clear CPU screen here. Yes, excellent. Now we can transfer all of these patterns that we encoded whenever we set this up originally. So assuming we have all the input items for this, we should have all the runes automated. Although I think there's a few things here we're missing for the inputs. Oh yeah, and that clicking sound that you can hear is a dispenser below with an extra wand of the forest. Since after it receives the living rock, you have to wand it basically. Wand it? Is that a verb? I don't know. But that's connected to a timer underneath, and that just pulses every second. In fact, we can increase this. We'll do every 3 seconds. So yeah, very basic runic altar automation. I think next we should probably automate the agglomeration plate. Make sure we have some channels. We're at 7. We have 1 to work with here, but 1 is all we need. So we're going to take a fresh pattern provider, name this agglomeration plate. Testing my spelling here. I think that's right. Is it double G? Yes, it is double G. So we have a spark on top of the agglomeration plate, the pattern provider 2 blocks above that, 1 more open crate to drop the items. We want to make sure this is on blocking mode, the other one is also on blocking mode. I think honestly that's all there is to it. We could get fancy and read the NBT just to make sure we have enough mana, but honestly I don't think we'll be crafting frequently enough, and we can just build a bigger mana battery, which I think is probably the better solution here. I think all we have to do now is encode the recipe. 1 mana steel, 1 mana pearl, 1 mana diamond. And we can also throw in another vacuumulator here, I guess, and an iron pipe to put it back in the pattern provider. So can we make Terrasteel automatically? If we have... Oh yeah, that's right, we don't have mana steel automated. This is already the biggest tangent I've ever been on, so we're not going to do that right now. We'll just batch craft. Same with the pearls, and same with the diamonds. Okay, looks like we need 3 Terrasteel per piece of armor, so 12 total. That is a lot of mana. Can we at least get 1? It looks like we can. Yep, there is our Terrasteel. We can add it to the filter here. Is that a creeper? A mushroom creeper? Are you friendly? I don't want to take the chance. How do we look? Quite derpy is the answer. Oh, it's these goggles, man. They really don't suit me. Yeah, that's so much better. Yeah, this is the full mana steel set. We have to upgrade to Terrasteel. There's a bunch of runes in here, some of which we've made, some of which we haven't. But honestly, it's nothing super complicated. I'm just going to grind this out and get the full set. We do have to increase the capacity on this provider though. And we don't have any expansion cards. So I think what we have to do here is just add an extra one on the side. Something like that should work, and we can put all the extra patterns in here. Oh yeah, but the channels underneath, we'll have to switch this out with dense cable. And I think we might just have enough mana to make this happen. This is the last piece of Terrasteel. Oh, it's going to be close. Is it going to craft? Find out after the commercial break. No. No commercials here. Come on, please. Please, game. I added the potency and velocity lenses to all of these mana spreaders. It definitely makes a difference, and we're dropping wool and therefore generating mana much quicker. Oh, it worked. 4 quests complete. Ladies and gentlemen, Terrasteel. Oh, now we're looking fancy. This is fancy. But where does this chest plate come into it? The one that we got from the Wandering Trader? Well, I want to make an Enchantment Extractor, which will put the enchantments from this thing straight onto books, and then we can use that to enchant our Terrasteel set. However, one thing I just noticed is we need an advanced machine frame, which means we need pink slime and a dissolution chamber. So we've got another rabbit hole to jump down. How do we get pink slime? Well, we have to start with a mob farm. So I started actually on 2 mob farms. I've been flip-flopping back on what I want to do this episode quite a bit. It's been a mess behind the scenes here, honestly, but hopefully something can come together today. Yeah, so to get pink slime, we need to kill mobs with the mob masher from Industrial Forgoing. I hope we have enough XP for this. I don't think the mob crusher counts as player kills, which is what we need for the Wither Skull fragments. So we're going to have to make 2 mob farms here. The first one is going to be done with chicken feed again. This time the chicken feed gave us a rotten egg. Rotten egg can be used to make dreadful dirt, which I think is like cursed earth from 1.12. I believe it does have to be dark though. Yeah, used on grass, dirt, or mycelium or farmland. The egg affects a 5x5 area. We need 9x9, which means we need a few of these eggs. To get more, we need XP, and to get XP, I think before we set up the farm, we can claim some quest rewards. That was a lot of quest rewards. Oh my goodness, look at this mess. Well, good thing I made some more storage discs today. Yeah, and we got 33 levels, perfect. That sound is terrifying, oh my goodness. Okay, we got 4 rotten eggs. To keep things nice and dark, we can use tinted glass. Okay, now that we got our 9x9, this should be dark once we fill it in. Yep. The reason, by the way, we're all the way out here is because we're in the savannah biome. Our base is all mushroom fields, which do not spawn any mobs. I did test this dirt in a creative world. We would only get slimes if we were to put the farm over there. Yeah, let's make sure we can actually craft this mob slaughter factory, which is how we get our pink slime. Very easy recipe here. Yeah, we have to feed this thing RF, and right now its range is only 1x1. There should definitely be range add-ons, right? Oh, let me guess, these are in a dissolution chamber. Yeah, that's right. They changed the recipe for these things. Okay, let's make some dissolution chambers then. Yeah, we can have our dissolution chambers over here next to the furnaces. I added osmium compressors. I think I might have cut that out of last episode. But yeah, this is just giving us refined glowstone and refined obsidian. 2 more mechanism materials that we might need. Anyways, the dissolution chambers can go here. We might as well make 2. So the range add-ons need latex in their recipe. We're already making latex. In fact, I think we have a full create tank here of latex. So let's get some of that in applied energistics. We're going to have an extra interface here. Actually, maybe not there, because the P2P is underneath. Yeah, let's move this P2P back. 7ED0. I don't think we have the advanced memory card in this, right? The one that shows you the P2P channels. I can't remember which mod that's from, if it's default AE2 or not. Oh, come on, where are you? 7ED0? Yeah, here we are, it's this one. Yeah, that gives us space to put another interface here, which should be accepting latex now. We have to make a fluid storage cell for AE, and of course partition it. But now that we have our dissolution chamber set up, all we have to do is extend power over. And I'm not sure if these things automatically output, but we should just be able to encode the recipe here, including the latex in the recipe. And are you going to let us craft this? Oh nice, it crafted. It didn't automatically output though. So to fix that, I think we can just have an extra pipe on the back. We can dodge this one. This is for osmium inserts. But we can just disconnect them and have this go back to the pattern provider. Yeah, so now if we give it the range add-on, it should be a 9x9, right? Oh, that's way bigger than a 9x9. I forgot how these add-ons work. The smaller one should be easier to craft though. It's just going to be adding some recipes. We need somewhere to store the pink slime and liquid meat, which of course are fluids, so we're going to make 2 more 64k ME storage cells, filter them for pink slime, and also crucially add the overflow destruction card there. Most likely this mob farm will be running all the time, so we need some way to trash the excess. The other way would just be to have a trash can on site, but what we're going to do instead here I think is much more simple. So I did test to make sure this works. We got a light switch, which is connected to 4 redstone lamps on the ceiling. Look at the amount of mobs we're getting here. It looks like the slaughter factory is actually able to keep up, which is good, although we can add some speed upgrades to this thing. But yeah, as you can see, we're getting our liquid meat and pink slime. We can just put a fluid card and filter 1 into triple pink for the ender tank and 1 into triple brown. Oh, but we need filters. I assume these things accept filters, the fluid cards. What is that thing over there? Is that a blitz? Do we want to find out? Too late, it's gone. From what I understand, we don't actually get any mob drops from that slaughter factory. Which actually is perfectly fine, it just means there's one less thing to worry about. The reason I put the destruction cards on the partition cells though is just to make sure that the interface that we're ingesting into, this is the triple pink and triple brown ender tanks, just to make sure this thing doesn't clog up with one fluid or the other, so we can have AE destroy the fluids for us. Do you guys ever go back to your terminal and forget what you came back for? It's like walking into a room and forgetting why you went there. Oh yeah, filters. I hope there's a way to filter fluids with Ender IO. With laser IO. Yep, it looks like there is. When you put it in the fluid card, you can drag from JEI. Now we just need one more to extract from the slaughter factory itself, which faces south. Yeah, and it's all extracting from the machine. Perfect. Awesome, let's give this a chunk load. And this thing can just run basically permanently. It's really nice that we set that up actually, because we need pink slime for other things in the ATM Star. So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone with this. We should already see it in our terminals. Yes, we already have one bucket. And using the pink slime, I encoded the recipe for both machine frames, and we got our Enchantment Extractor. Part 1 of our tangent. We still have a little ways to go. Hang in there. We're getting there. But yeah, as you can probably imagine, we only get one book from this. One book for each enchantment. There's our Unbreaking 5. We should get a Mending and a Protection 5 as well. Obviously, there's no Ender IO to be able to make enchanted books that we want, but Botania has a solution here for us, if I can find it here. Ah yes, enchanting with mana. That just looks like some pylons, obsidian and a lapis block, and some flowers around it. I think we should be able to do that, and I purposely left some space on the end here for it. The preview function for Botania is so nice, I like this a lot. Obviously we have to use orange flowers, right? Maybe it has to be white, I don't know. Okay, let's just place the pylons. Perhaps these have to be the floating flowers? Yeah, if we make them floating, now it lets us place them, okay. And pylons on top of that. We got a completed multi-block. I think the last thing is to hit this with the Wand of the Forest. Oh yeah, now we're in business. So we need to give this mana as well. We can hook up a mana P2P, maybe somewhere around here. We want a spark on the mana pool and a spark on the enchanter. And I think we're good to go here. We're ready to start enchanting. So just as a quick overview on how this works, the mana enchanter doesn't actually enchant anything directly. We must have enchanted books to be able to apply to tools and weapons. But whenever you enchant something, the book is never actually consumed, meaning that you can use it infinite times as long as you have enough mana to supply the enchanter. So we want protection 5 on everything, right? We can go higher, there is protection 8, but I don't think we can duplicate books, at least not any method that I know of in this pack. But if we ever come across a protection 8 or whatever it is, we can use our enchantment extractor. I'm also going to get rid of this rain. I feel like it rains all the time. It's never not raining here. Like, there's so many times I go to record and I'm like, well, I may as well just wait for the rain to finish. Anyways, I think what we do is throw the book on the obsidian, put the boots on the enchanter, and then just hit it with the Wand of the Forest. Yeah, there we go. It's doing something. Nice. And it still kept the book here. Awesome. We can pick up our boots, and they now have protection 5. Same with the leggings. How much mana did that use? Not very much. That's actually... This is OP. This is OP. Let's do the rest. I've only ever seen this thing used. I've never actually used it myself. I'm definitely going to be using this again. This is awesome. You know what? We've actually run out of wool, which is not something I thought would happen. I think though I messed up the crafter insert on XNet whenever we fixed this thing. Quote unquote fixed it. So there's plenty of dye that is just not going to where it needs to go. Yeah, I think I need to fiddle about with these channels in XNet back here. It's not even been 5 minutes and the rain is back. The one thing about the mana enchanter is that it can only enchant unenchanted tools and armor. We can't add anything else to our Terrasteel set, so we need some way to repair it, right? But for that we can use the repair talisman. This thing just passively restores 1 durability every 1 second. So after we have our spawner, which we still need to get Silk Touch for, the reason I want to fight the Wither is to get a Nether Star, of course, and that can allow us to apply that to the spawner, and ignore the fact that we need players nearby to spawn mobs. Wait a minute. No way this recipe exists for the Nether Star. I refuse. No way. No, game, you're not telling me you can get a Nether Star like this. Wow. This recipe right here just invalidates everything we've done today. No, we're not. No, we're not going to cave into that. We're going to use a loot fabricator. We're going to get the Wither data model. That's what we're going to do. So we need to fight 7 withers. I'm sticking to my guns here. No. There's no way I just noticed that recipe. That doesn't exist. We don't talk about that. We need also a weapon. We have this Bone Splitter axe, which I think I'm going to remove the enchantments from. It has sharpness 10 on it. And theoretically, we have infinite amounts of sharpness 10 now, because of the mana enchanter. And I think we also got a bow. I don't remember what it's called though, which means we might have some trouble finding it actually. Oh, this is going to be impossible to find in here. Yeah, I told you this would be a strange episode. We're kind of all over the place. I think what I'm going to do actually, before I do any of that, and before we fight the withers, is I'm going to set up another spawner area. And this time, instead of using that mob masher that we're using, this one will be for the wither skeletons, and I'm going to use mob grinding utilities. This thing, the mob masher, which should give us experience, and that can allow us to do some enchanting to gear up for these wither fights. One Natura pylon is enough for level 30 as well. Look at that, that's awesome. I'm a little bit stunned here. I need to I need to compose myself. Let me I think I need to take a break a bit. I did just have a revelation though. If we can get enough experience, we can technically unenchant these Terrasteel boots. It does give us them back fresh, and that way we can combine the Protection 5 books. Yeah, only 6 levels to get Protection 6, and we can keep doing that all the way up to Protection 8. Yeah, I'm going to grind that out. Hopefully we have enough levels to make this happen. Well, here goes nothing. We want to get the data model, of course. Oh, we can get it in this phase. That's awesome. Let's get as many as we can. Nice. This is going to be absolutely no problem. I tested this armor in the nether. There is zero way we die with this on. Absolutely no way. Our damage is lacking a little bit, but, you know, this is going to be easy peasy. Yep, that's wither number 1. Oh no, it didn't level the data model though. I think it has to be inside the deep learner. Which means you can only do 4 at once, I guess. Did we even lose a single heart there? I don't think we did. I also put power 7 on the bow. Yeah, I guess we kill 6 more withers. You know, I kinda wish I brought some milk or something. I've just got permanent wither, and I'm just accepting it at this point. Ha! Take that, wither. You're going to be in a simulation soon. I think we've got one more to go. Yeah, one more to go. So yeah, as you saw, I did get our spawner. I used Tinker's Construct to get Silk Touch. And we got a teleporter here which goes straight underneath our base. The spawner I applied with the wither egg, the wither skeleton egg, and that turns it into a wither skeleton spawner. I made sure to give this thing tons and tons of sugar, and also tons and tons of clocks as well. The sugar and the clocks basically just reduces the time between the wither skeleton spawning. It makes it really, really fast. Look at this thing. I think a soul torch ignores light level, so it can be any light level we want. And finally, we can give it the nether star. And yeah, that will ignore the fact that we need to be nearby for this thing to spawn. The rest is very simple. We just have some mob fans with some upgrades in there just to make sure it reaches everywhere. You need to give these things a redstone signal. And we got the mob masher and an absorption hopper to pick up all the drops. I need to actually sort this out. This is going to fill up quite fast. Oh yeah, and of course we get experience from this, which is the second thing that we actually needed for our potions. You may remember that we did all this for the charms of knowledge, and the knowledge potions require balls of enchanting. So that was the story of a very elaborate and flawed plan to get part of the ATM Star. And that also wraps up today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not sure if you guys prefer the longer episodes. This is quite a long one today, I feel like, at least for me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.